In today's news, Rotary hosts territory-wide beautification projects.
Tobacco Bahamas finally has light.
Live interviews with Mr. Kevin Jones of Nyamin Suppers Club and also 2 medical officials here to discuss the hand, foot, and mouth disease currently plaguing the British Virgin Islands.
An inside look at the highest ranking passports in the world.
And McDonald's CEO fired over a relationship he shared with an employee. These and more stories when 284 News returns.
Is business slow? Cash flow down? Hosting an upcoming event? We can help. Advertise with 284 Media and take your business or event to the next level by enhancing your present marketing and messaging strategies. Allow our team of experts to create a personalized ad that sets your business apart from all the rest. This could be your business or event. So, what are you waiting for? Contact our marketing team at 284media at cctbvi.com. Advertising with us works.
When you need to stay connected with friends and families at home or abroad, the best choice for you is Freedom. CCT Freedom. With the lowest rates in the market, our Freedom plan gives you unlimited calls and texting. Plus, our Freedom One package includes 10 gigabits of super fast, unlimited LTE data and unlimited calls to the BVI, USA, USVI, Canada, Puerto Rico, and UK lines. Why pay for overages when you can enjoy CCT Freedom? Stop by at one of our stores today and speak with one of our representatives to find out more about our CCT Freedom packages. Welcome everyone. It's Monday, November 4th, 2019. I'm Javon Wilson.
And I'm Kyla Kenesha Forbes.
It's a beautiful Monday, a great start to our week. But of course, we have to recap the
weekend.
mega event of the weekend, of course, the Dolores Christopher Festival of the Arts that occurred on Saturday. Saturday at the Queen Elizabeth Park. Quite a number of activities.
Yes.
What were your favorite?
Please tell me about it, because I wasn't actually able to make it down there, but I saw some beautiful pictures of you there. So please tell me about it.
Well, it was a jam-packed event, of course. I would call it a culture pot. All things BVI, from food to steel pan to calypso, the fungi bands. I mean, everything. We also had a cultural interpretation fashion show where 9 local BVI designers were challenged to come up with a design. Of course, you know, I guess how they see fashion through their eyes. Of course, they had to use the national fabric of the British Virgin Islands, so that was remarkable.
Yeah, and I actually see that it's being showcased in the East Wing of the admin complex. So if people weren't able to catch it at the Festival of Arts, they can go down there and view them.
They still have the opportunity, and that runs up until the 29th of this month. So we have to say kudos to the subject minister, of course, the Minister of Culture, Dr. Whitley, as well as the team from APAC, who together pulled off a really successful event in honor of the late Honorable Dolores Christopher.
Definitely, definitely, Joe. Topping our newscast for today, this weekend, or newsroom caught up with the Community Service Director of the Rotary Club of Ropetown, Miss Atricia Pereira, to speak about the beautification projects that accomplished around the BVI. On November 2nd, 2019, the Rotary Club of Ropetown committed a full day to complete community service projects around the territory. The members of the Rotary Club and volunteers successfully tackled 10 community service projects. Okay, Joe, I think that was definitely That's amazing.
That's a lot.
Yeah, so some of these projects include the cleanup of the Centennial Park, the beautification of the Mount Healthy National Park, the restoration of the swing sets, and the organization of the library at the Enos Adams Primary School, the restoration and the beautification of the school garden, playground, and library at the Ebenezer Thomas Primary School. Ms. Pereira spoke to our newsroom about how her day was spent helping to restore the school garden at the Ebenezer Thomas Primary School. She further expressed that one of the goals of the Rotary Club of Ropetown is to establish an edible school garden at every primary school in the territory. Okay, I think that is That's a great initiative.
And as usual, nothing new to the Rotary family of the BVI. They've always extended their efforts territory-wide and very community-oriented. So while, yes, we do recognize it as a major effort, I mean, to undertake 10 projects in one day, we do continue to applaud them for what they do.
Yeah, and something that they did at the end of the day, they concluded their day around 7 o'clock with erecting the Christmas tree at the roundabout. So I'm looking forward to that.
We just kickstarted the Christmas season.
I am looking forward to that. I am definitely one of those Christmas persons, Joe.
I'm a Christmas baby too. All right, and good news in the region. Approximately 2 months after Hurricane Dorian ravaged the Bahamas, electricity has been restored to some areas in the island of Abaco. Of course, this was the island that undoubtedly recorded the most damages. The good news was received from Mr. Damian Richardson, one of the 4-member delegation that was deployed from the BVI to assist in power restoration efforts in the Bahamas. His caption said, "Power is back in Abaco, Bahamas." Of course, our newsroom had to reach out to Mr. Richardson, who said, quote, "The experience is wonderful, no complaints. Electricity was restored to Cooper Island, where we're staying, and a few other areas, but we are continuously working in other areas of Abaco." The monstrous Category 5 storm ravaged Grand Bahama and Abaco for 3 days, leaving nothing but ruin in its path. According to the Bahamian Works Minister, Mr. Desmond Bannister, there was substantive damage to the Bahamas power and lights infrastructure in wake of Dorian, including the loss of 3,000 utility poles. He initially said it would cost the local government approximately $90 million, but despite the damage there, Mr. Bannister is optimistic that Abaco is on its way back. And as you can see from the pictures, Kyla, their very own Damian Richardson posted, I think that the island is certainly on their way to recovery, and I'm really happy for that. So, of course, we continue to send best wishes to our electricians, of course, who really were selfless.
Yeah, and I applaud them because 2 years ago we were where the Bahamas were, and for us to be able to pick up and go over and lend a hand to our neighbors.
In a time that's well needed, absolutely. It's really applaudable what they've done, and we continue to pray for them as well as the residents of the beautiful Bahamas as they continue to recover. After this, we'll be discussing the foot, hand, and mouth disease that is currently plaguing the territory at the moment. And Kyla takes an inside look at the highest ranking passports in the world. Stick around for more 284 News.
The Mighty Sparrow.
Chocolate City, Tortola's BVI. I'm coming to you. You ready? November 16, 2019. It's Tico's 50th anniversary and celebrating Ticolipso. You hear me? A community calypso fundraiser. I can't wait to see. It's going to be fantastico.
Everyone looks to the future, but no one truly knows what the future holds.
The number of people under the age of 20 with type 2 diabetes could increase by 49% by 2050. Let it be known that we all have a 30% chance of developing hypertension.
Globally, more than 300 million people of all ages suffer from depression.
More than 60,000 young adults aged 20 to 39 are diagnosed with cancer each year. Obesity leads to problems such as stroke, heart disease, and kidney failure.
No matter your race, age, or color, we are all at risk.
These diseases can be managed or prevented if caught early.
But with the right medicine and the right doctors to keep us on a path to live a robust and healthy life,
we will live well.
Welcome back, viewers. As promised, Javon is live with our health officials, and I'll send it right over to her. So take it away, Joe.
Viewers, by now you know that a lot of persons locally are duly concerned about a disease we call the hand, foot, and mouth disease is currently plaguing the BVI. To speak with us today is Miss Harmony Bruley Messiah. She is our National epidemiologist, sorry, and Mr. Lionel Michael. Of course, he is our Chief Environmental Health Officer. Welcome, guys.
Thanks for having us.
All right, so a lot of chatter about what's been going on over the last few weeks. I'm sure quite a number of cases has been reported thus far. The hand, foot, and mouth disease, especially in our daycares. For those persons who don't know what that is, can you go ahead and explain for us, please?
Well, hand, foot, and mouth disease is actually a very old and generally mild but highly contagious viral illness. And that's why we usually see it predominantly flaring up in the daycares because, one, we have our daycares that have a large number of children, and of course, it being very highly contagious, it can rapidly spread from one child to the next.
Okay. And what are some of the common symptoms we can look at?
So usually it will start out with a mild fever, and then it may progress to a sore throat, and then to a general feeling of being unwell. So for small children in particular, you might find that they may have a lack of appetite, they might be cranky, they might be miserable, and they just may feel very, very lethargic. They may not be playing as much, and those are usually the first key indications that your child is becoming unwell.
Okay, what about physical symptoms? Any of those?
Yes, after the fever and the sore throat and maybe the lack of appetite, you may see the rash starting to appear, or the blisters, and you'll find them usually, like its namesake, you might find on the palms of your hands, you find them in the oral cavity, and also on your feet. You may also see them, especially in young children, on the genital region, and maybe on the buttocks, but rarely around the eyes or the ears.
All right, so what have we been doing? I know there's quite a number of awareness activities, ever since the outbreak. What have we been doing specifically as it relates to the disease?
Well, we have been doing a considerable amount of inspections and education and awareness. We had an awareness program last week in Seacoast Bay.
Okay.
And we have one this afternoon.
Where's the one this afternoon?
This afternoon is Baggers Bay, the New Testament Church.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Right. So we have been doing those things. We have been reinforcing and encouraging the daycare centers to be mindful of the requirements that they're supposed to have in these daycares, which include, but not limited to, that they have to have immunization of their children, must be immunized and so on. Hand washing facilities. That is very, very important to have the hand washing facilities so that children can wash their hands, and the caregivers can also wash their hands regularly to prevent the transmission. And we feel that hand washing is one of the single most important thing they can do to prevent this kind of transmission, to control the transmission. We want them to also have the whole question of good lighting in the facility so they can see what they're doing, running water, toilet facilities, in good ratio. I think our guidelines call for 1 to 15.
Okay.
Right,
okay.
Yes, so that is very important. The whole question of space in between cots and between cribs and so on, and the whole question of sufficient cots and cribs and mattresses and blankets and so on, because we don't want children to be using the same blankets and sleep in the same cribs and so on. They have to have their own and separate things. So those are some of the issues that we go and we do inspections and we reinforce. We encourage people in the daycare centers to carry out proper cleaning and sanitizing.
Yes.
So I realize this is a matter of sanitization.
Cleaning and sanitizing, yes. The whole question of hygiene, which is the hand washing portion.
Right.
The whole question of the sufficient space, because as Harmony pointed out, the whole question of overcrowding and the large amount of children in these facilities can exacerbate the spread and cause problems. So the cleaning and sanitizing is important. Clean the toys and disinfect the toys, sanitize the toys, so that when children play with them, they don't contract the illness. The sheets, the blankets, the cots, the crib, the railings, and so on, all these must be cleaned regularly, and so on. Toys, if the toys must be immersed, can be immersed in sanitizing solution, and to make sure it's clean. Of course, environmental health has the guidelines. They can come. We have been visiting them and give them the guidelines and instruct them, advise them how to do this.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, Ms. Broley, I know you mentioned recently that This was not a troublesome disease in the past, but of course, over the years, you're concerned about the changes it would have gone through. Alluding to the fact that it might even be fatal. Can you get into that a little bit more for me, please?
Well, like all pathogens, viruses are no different. They evolve, just like we evolve to our environment, they too evolve. So what would happen is that they would tend to pick up genetic material from similar viruses, usually within the same family, and it could actually make them more virulent. So usually we will have the Coxsackie virus, the A16, A6, the A10. Those are the ones that usually cause the mild hand, foot, and mouth disease.
Okay.
But what we're seeing now is that these viruses are actually causing neurological complications, and they're causing things like inflammation of the brain, like encephalitis and meningitis. And now we have the enterovirus E71, which is more predominantly found in South Asia, that is causing fatalities.
Wow.
So from speaking to some of the parents, they have expressed concern that the child would be healthy 1 minute, they'll be playing the same way, and then over the night they fall rapidly ill. And I know that's actually the progression is similar to what is displayed by the DCV, the Coxsackie virus 6, but we need to know exactly which strain is in our territory. That's something we don't know. So I'm actually asking that providers, please send a sample off so we can see exactly what we're dealing with, and that will actually allow us or facilitate early detection and intervention.
Understood. So far, what are the numbers looking like locally?
Right now, we have had 70 cases over the past 5 weeks.
Oh, wow, that's a lot. That's
Yes.
a lot.
And that is why the cleaning and sanitizing is important. And as I want to emphasize with the cleaning and sanitizing, especially the sanitizing part, if you're using household bleach, which we recommend, that you want to ensure you put 1 teaspoonful in a gallon of water for stationary equipment, like to clean the rails and so on, and those kind of things. But if you clean the toys and different objects, you want to immerse them in the sanitizing solution.
Oh, wow.
That's half a tablespoonful to a gallon of water.
Oh, okay.
Right? And leave it for 2 minutes, a contact time, so that you can destroy the virus and destroy the microorganisms.
And of course, if your child is infected, you would advise that parent or caretaker to
Yes.
keep the child at home, right?
Please keep the child at home. We know that some parents are expressing concern that they have to go to work and they don't have anyone to take care of the child, but that's a part of parenthood. If your child is sick, they need to be at home recuperating, not trying to keep it together at a daycare. And you too need to ensure that your child is resting so that they can actually become much better. Because what a lot of parents don't know is that you could actually, I don't want to say increase the symptoms, the clinical presentation, or maybe even exacerbate the condition. But if your child is sick and he's around those that are playing and he might try to get involved, you could actually increase the rate at which he remains sick or even becomes sick. And not to mention, you're going to spread the disease to other children who may be immunocompromised or be even more vulnerable. So what some daycares have also expressed is that parents have resorted to something called the stop, drop, and roll. And usually we would associate that with fire, but now they're dropping off sick kids, knowing that they're sick, and leaving the child. And that is abandonment, because if the daycare has explicitly expressed that they're not taking the child, then you should not leave the child just because you have to go to work on the porch of the daycare and expect that the daycare to take them.
That's understood. Well, thank you guys so much. For persons who would want to keep up with the information and what they can or should not be doing rather, where can they look for that type of information? Is there a local page?
Yeah, we Environmental Health Division have a Facebook page, and the government website is there. Plus, they can contact us at the Public Health Unit and the Environmental Health Unit.
Thank you guys so much for joining us in studio today.
You're welcome.
You're
Thank you
welcome.
for
All
having
right,
us.
Kyla, back to you.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you. In October, CNN News reported it's been a 2-horse race this year to be named the world's most powerful passport, with both top contenders in Asia. Now, as we enter the final quarter of 2019, Japan and Singapore have held on to their position as the world's most travel-friendly passports. That's the view of the Henley Passport Index, which periodically measures the access each country's travel documents offer. See the best passports to hold in 2016. 5 years ago, the United States and the UK topped the ranking in 2014, but both countries have now slipped down to 6th place. The lowest position has since been held since 2010. While the Brexit process has yet to directly impact the UK's ranking, the Henley Passport Index press release observed in July, with its exit from EU now imminent and the coupled with outgoing confusion about the terms of its departure, the UK's once strong position looks increasingly uncertain. Yet again, we see another aspect that may be affected by Brexit. Many of our residents here in the BVI hold a British passport as well as a US passport, but especially a British passport, and should understand that the Brexit may have some effects on our travel opportunities. Still ahead, top chef Kevin Jones of the Nyaming Club and McDonald's CEO sacked over a relationship he shared with another employee. This and more stories when 284 News returns.
When you need to stay connected with friends and families at home or abroad, the best choice for you is Freedom. CCT Freedom. With the lowest rates in the market, our Freedom plan gives you unlimited calls and texting. Plus, our Freedom One package includes 10 gigabits of super fast, unlimited LTE data and unlimited calls to the BVI, USA, USVI, Canada, Puerto Rico, and UK lines. Why pay for overages when you can enjoy CCT Freedom? Stop by at one of our stores today and speak with one of our representatives to find out more about our CCT Freedom packages.
So you're saying I can ask this cat any question?
The cat is connected to the computer. You just type in the question, it will read his mind. There the answer comes.
You're the man! I've been looking for this for weeks.
Brilliant Hands and Minds tutoring services, one-on-one tutorials in math and English, intense homework assistance, academic enrichment, school projects, effective communication and public speaking development, sign language for adults and children on Saturdays only. Registered with the Virgin Islands High School Certificate Program, Brilliant Hands and Minds can help you too. Offering intense curriculum-based training to help you or your loved ones get their high school diploma. It's time to make your family's education a #1 priority. Hurry, space is limited. Brilliant Hands and Minds Learning Center. We are the trained education professionals. Every 39 minutes, someone is killed by a drunk driver. Every minute, someone is injured by a drunk driver. 8 teenagers die every day in alcoholic-related car crashes. Motorcycle drivers comprise the highest percentage of drunk drivers in fatal crashes. The highest percentage of drunk drivers involved in a fatal crash are ages 18 to 24. Alcohol affects your reaction time, vision, tracking, concentration, comprehension, and coordination. Remember, when you drink and drive, you put the health and safety of yourself and others at risk. Select a designated driver, carpool, hang out in groups, don't leave your friends behind, and know your limit. 284 Media is concerned about the well-being of all and wishes everyone safety as we traverse the roads. Celebrate in style, but please don't drink and drive.
Welcome back, viewers. This is 284 News. Now, Kyla is sitting down with Kevin Jones. I think that's from Nyamins. Take it away, Kyla.
Thank you, Joe. A phenomenon is developing as young people from the BVI are making strides and leaving their imprint on the world. Today, here with me in studio is Mr. Kevin Jones of the Nyaming Supper Club. Kevin, thank you for joining me.
You're welcome.
So let's just talk real quickly about what is Nyaming.
So Nyaming is a UK-based supper club, Caribbean-based supper club, and our goal is to enhance Caribbean culture through cuisine and
And culture. Okay, because I used to live in the UK, so I know sometimes some Caribbean restaurants pop up and it's not necessarily Caribbean based. You know, it's just kind of quote unquote the imitation version.
Yeah,
so
correct.
you think that Nyaming brings a different experience to the UK, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so tell me a bit about your career path as a chef.
Well, I didn't want to be a chef all the time. Like, I wanted to be like an architect, a lawyer, but the chefing world just found me, and then I went to the UK and it just popped off.
Right, because I actually know you from college, Kevin. Like, we go way back, to be honest.
Way back.
And like you said, you were in classes doing architecture, and so at what point you realized that this just wasn't for me? What happened? Do you remember that moment?
I can't remember the year, but it was just like I was just going through a phase, and I was like, probably might try chefing. I might just try chefing, and then it just kicked off, as I say. Yeah, so.
Yeah, because your dad actually has like a barbecue pit that
so
you.
it started from there.
So it started there.
Yeah, and then I went to HLSCC. I graduated, and then just wanted to take it further.
Mm-hmm.
And then the whole Nyaming thing came about, like, cause it's 3 BV Islanders, and then we were just like trying to find ways to like enhance the Caribbean while promoting it as well. So we started with the BVI, promoting the BVI, and then we went on to like different islands. So each of our experience, we highlight each island. So I think it was the 23rd of October, we had Barbados. So we had like sections from like crop over. We had like proper authentic Barbados food. So that's what a bit like what Nyaming is.
Okay, so how does it feel to do something different outside of the BVI? Because this is a whole different model. This is something completely different that the BVI has seen. So how does that feel, and how has that process been?
I feel good. It feel good just like to go out. Just a whole step of you stepping out of your boundaries and like moving to a different country. Just breaking all those barriers. Like, I had to like get accustomed to the food, just something simple like that. Get accustomed to the food, like eating bangers and mash. And then like to bring in all that Caribbean vibes to it, yeah, like I feel accomplished really.
Okay, so coming from humble beginnings, from your dad's barbecue, to now being featured at the BVI Food Fest, how does that feel? When you got that call, how did that feel for you?
It was like a dream come true. It was like a dream because I think it was 2016. I was still in college, and like I was a commis chef for Michael Ferraro. So like, I was like helping him doing this, helping him doing that, and now for me to like actually come and be taking a part in the food fest.
Right.
Like, that's big. And I'm at the BVI Gourmet Soiree, and I'll be at Taste of Tortola as well.
Great.
So get your tickets and come out. Do some nice food.
Okay, great. You've heard it from Top Chef Kevin. Come out to the BVI Food Fest and experience what he has to offer. So thank you. Back to you, Joe.
All right, good things. BVI talent, of course, represented on the international scene as usual. Congratulations, Kevin. Moving right along on the international scene, McDonald's has fired its CEO over a consensual relationship with an employee. The fast food giant made the announcement on Sunday saying that Steve Easterbrook, quote, demonstrated poor judgment and that McDonald's forbids managers from having romantic relationships with direct or indirect subordinates, end of quote. Now, in an email to employees, Easterbrook admitted, and he said, given the values of the company, the relationship was a mistake, and I agree with the board that it is time for me to move on, end of quote. McDonald's decision to act may be a sign of progress on workplace issues that have come to light in the Me Too era, said Carl Tobias, a law professor at the University of Richmond. He said other companies don't always act on that kind of information or fire their CEO for that, and so it seems like they're trying to enforce a pretty strict policy in this situation. Among many other challenges at its restaurant, McDonald's faced in the past workplace harassment charges. In May, McDonald's said it will be enhancing training and also offering a new hotline for workers after a labor group filed dozens of sexual harassment charges against the company. Easterbrook stepped on as CEO in 2015, and under his leadership, McDonald's shares roughly doubled, but recently profits have fallen short. He was born in the UK and had a reputation for being funny, fair, and a lover of simplicity. However, he has already been replaced by President of McDonald's USA, Christopher Kempczinski, effective immediately. Viewers, I want to thank you so much for joining us today. That is it for today's News Roundup. Be sure to like us on Facebook at 284 Media and 284 BVI on Instagram as well as Twitter. My name is Javon Wilson, and it was my pleasure to bring you the news alongside my beautiful co-host, Kyla Kenisha Forbes. We'll see you again tomorrow as we deliver your daily dose of local, regional, and international content. 284 News, your source for honest and impartial news. Have a great day.
What are you really running for, boss? You could have bust a hole in your head. But see you with the competition. Which means you're about to bust a hole in your pocket.
I could get my modem, please.
Anyhow, I got something huge to show you.
I gotta be sick in your head.
Well, hold on, String Bean. Taking a kind of party. Check this. That's LTE1 for just about everyone. LTE2 for you and your boo. And hold on. Bam! Rate so low, you feel like you're free. That's LTE3 for you and the whole family.
Save even more on your internet with new pricing from CCT. Get LTE2 now for only $149. Get LTE3 for the new low price of $189. All packages are unlimited, so there's no overage charge. You don't have to run into Chaz for savings. Just stop by our store and sign up today. Come on over to CCT. Life Unlimited.
Hello?
Wait, you had a lunch and care? You say you were sick? What happened to over the rehearsal?
No, babe. I'm actually watching the news right now. Take a listen.
Topping our newscast today, UFOs seen around Tortola Pier Park.
And District 3 residents outraged over no water supply. They simply cannot bathe. These and more stories when 284 News returns.
All right, babe, just get some rest, take 2 Advil, and I'll see you later. Bye.
Okay, honey. I see you later. I love you.
It's clear to see that Coconut Lounge is a place to be, the coolest cocktail lounge in the British Virgin Islands. A lounge like no other, with welcoming, professional service, and a breathtaking ambiance. Not forgetting a diverse selection of wines, beers, and signature cocktails. Cozy, comfortable, contemporary. Coconut Lounge at Tortola Pier Park. Visit us today.